What are your primary goals and/or concerns regarding budgetary issues within CUSG and throughout campus as a whole? How would you like to see money in tuition and fee increases spent?
Inspire proposed budget cuts. 3 members of Inspire, for the sake of transparency and opening communication, did send out a budget scenario that was then taken way out of context and put on Facebook. I would also like to say that, we haven't made any personal attacks tonight. We've really tried to hold ourselves to a high standard, and I encourage the other tickets to do the same.
So in terms of tuition and student fees, obviously one of our big parts of the platform is the idea of affordability. Now, in some instances, as far as student fees, we try to contend that we control. In that, there's obviously a lot of large-hanging fruit that have been taken care of, but there's still inefficiencies that we've identified, and we work to try to mitigate that. In terms of this idea of wanting to lower student tuition, I honestly, Paul, I don't, it's kind of, as a finance major, it's a difficult question to ask because higher education is the only institution year over year that's experienced an increase. They've never had a decrease. If 3 people, if the idea of lobbying, we could all go down and just, encourage someone to decrease tuition. I'm in the business school, the most expensive college on campus. Why is that? Because we're so underfunded by the state. We've instituted a grading policy that implemented so that X amount of students will fail and have to retake these classes, which regenerates revenue. Obviously, these are questions and issues we'll need to address and identify. We're going to work towards that. We would love to lower tuition, but at the same time, trust me when I say, you get what you pay for online. We can go to community college, we can go to Western State, we can go to Colorado. This is the University of Colorado. It's a research institution. You're going to leave here with a 4-year degree set up for the rest of your lives. Thank you.
It's actually twofold. It's to advocate for students and to support student groups. Student groups on this campus, they're what make our campus. If we don't support student groups, the life of our campus becomes completely diminished. And so I think our role as part of student government is to continue to support them, but also become part of their communities to learn about what best ways to support them, and not just say, oh, we're going to take your money away, or oh, we're going to give you more money, because that doesn't work. We need to know who the student groups are, what they do, and what they're all about, because we want to continue to fund that to continue to enrich our campus. When it comes to advocacy, I would disagree with Representative Scobie. When there are issues that are happening at the state capitol, at the city level, that affect our students, there's no reason why us as student government should be advocating for the students on our campus. I'm going to delegate the rest of my time to Walker because he has some more information.
I want to say briefly, from the perspective of a grad student that was brought up early on, Chris Jacob and I went to UGGS tonight, and I went to the Student Bar Association yesterday. Those are the law school and grad school student governments, and we've received both of their endorsements because they know that we understand what it takes to lower tuition, increase access to resources for grad students without destroying those student resources. On the politics point, I didn't say we should take political stances. I said we should take stances on political issues that matter to students. Refusing to listen to students is not representative. Going out, finding their opinion, and standing up for it is representative. Thank you.
Diversity is an ever-present and ever-evolving subject at CU. What diversity issues are most important to you, and what actions will you take to ensure that diverse students and groups will be strongly and fairly represented on campus?
Diversity is extremely important here at CU, and what issues that Unite is looking to do about it. We feel that, as one of our representatives said, that we really want to represent equity. We really want to push equity. Yes, we are all equal. We are all equal as humans, and we all have inalienable rights. But we all come from different backgrounds, we all come from different cultures. And so we really want to provide so much support for student groups. So when people come to Boulder and have a culture shock, they have a home away from home. Whether it is the Deep South, whether it is the DC. We want to make sure that student groups here on campus are here as a community for students all from all different backgrounds. We want to make sure that every student's culture is respected. And we want to be able to provide student groups opportunities to put on symposiums or to put on extra events to where all students from all over the campus can come and learn about different cultures. And that's how we will truly be united.
Student, wow, yep. International student. I'm Canadian, and so I have to do everything necessary that every single international student has to do here. And it is a process, it is hard. And so I'm definitely willing to hear all the other international students, and I want to have their voices heard as well. Because we are a minority on campus, and it's important to be heard because it's a going about college.
And one of the projects that Inspire's already started is I've worked with a group of disabled students on campus who, when it snows out, blind students don't go to class. Sometimes when students become temporarily disabled on this campus, they have to drop out of class halfway through the semester. So that is one underrepresented group who we try to create tangible solutions to offer them a solution to their current predicament. We've been working with the university on this, and we've been working with a lot of officials to make this a point, so we can hopefully have a concrete pilot program in place by next year. So that's something that we've already started to do, but in addition to that, we think a way to access accessibility for next year to make the university more affordable to students is to create a scholarship for students. So that's why if Inspire's elected, we're going to make it a priority to go out and fundraise and host events so that we can offer scholarships to students who might not otherwise be able to attend the university.
The 420 dilemma continues to be an unresolved and hotly debated issue at CU. How would you propose the events surrounding the day to be handled, and how would you work with each other and campus administrators to ensure short-term and long-term success?
That we should take the standpoint of the student on this event. We need to reach out to the entire student body and realize what they want for this kind of event, and really not take our own stance on it, but see what the students want. We do not take a stance on this event.
And I think it's really important, again, to realize that we really want to represent the students. And I think that we have a clear vision on how we really want to do that and how to go about doing it. As we noticed before, we have established, we even created a mock-up for We the Buffs. Again, we're going to reiterate, it was a lot like We the People, like in the United States. And the important thing here is it creates an open dialogue with the students so they can address any issue that they have a problem with. That's something that hasn't been around on campus, and we really hope and really want, and we're going to create this because, again, it comes down to representation. We're going to use these tools. We're also going to use the tools of, especially for controversial issues, and this is definitely a very, very controversial issue, is we really want to create more open dialogue within this, but also through the different events that we put on.
As a junior, I was here during 420 when it was on campus, and I was here last year when there was a dramatic change in events. And actually, I felt our campus was turned into a police state, and I would say that an overwhelming majority of students here. And the fact that students weren't included in the negotiations is wrong on a number of levels. But the fact that some of the members Inspire didn't do more to ensure that students were included is very disappointing. One of our candidates, Chris, headed and started the 420 task force, and I'm going to hand it off to him.
Well, we can actually take a stance on this issue because we know what the students want, because we've done the work to get to that information. And given the chance to actually hear what the students want, members of Inspire pass that opportunity up. And so when we talk to students, again and again, overwhelmingly, graduate students, members of club sport, members of the queer community, students of color, just everyday students on this campus have said that they were unhappy with the way that the administration had handled 420, and that they wanted to see the student government fight for them, fight for campus to stay open, fight for campus to be able to not have ID checks that are actually risk putting our campus in the situation where we're actually going to be profiling students, and we actually risk alienating students. Students that have a history of law enforcement and have long histories, historically underrepresented communities, have had awful histories with law enforcement. And when those police officers are out here on campus, it becomes terrifying. They have to stay home. They have panic attacks. They can't come to campus. And we have to fight for those students because they need a voice.
I understand that it's a touchy subject. I think everyone understands that it's a touchy subject, and people feel strongly both ways, and people really don't care either way. But I think the biggest thing is that whatever the proposed solution is, whatever the proposed remedy, if there is a remedy, is that people are involved in the decision and people know about it. It's like, it's fine if money's getting spent on a concert, it better be a really good concert. So.
What are your views regarding the new campus-wide smoking ban? How will you assist both the university and the student body in the midst of what is sure to be conflicting and equally passionate points of view?
And I really want to clarify that the administration actually didn't go forward without student input. what was actually voted down in Legislative Council, and this is a really important distinction that you need to know about these things when you're going to be voting on them, is that we voted on a tobacco-free resolution. That's not the same as a smoking ban on campus. They're very different things. And it turns out the administration had intended to make a tobacco-free campus, and when they heard the opposition from the student government, they changed their mind to smoke-free because they listened to what happened in that conversation, and they actually took that and they made changes. And so I didn't make those decisions, but the administration listened to students. I think that the student government needs to really recognize that when they had influence and actually celebrate those victories. I think that the smoking ban is really important, and it comes back to the health and wellness of our students, of the student body, of the entire CU community. It is scientifically proven that secondhand smoke is dangerous, and it's scientifically proven that even outdoor levels of secondhand smoke are dangerous, and it's not fair for any student, anybody who comes to this campus to detrimentally affect the health of another human being. It's their right to have clean air, and it's their right to life, and there's no right to smoking. There's no right on this campus. And it's completely in our power to protect the health and wellness of our entire community and to be socially and environmentally just, because that's what this university is about. We are about environmental justice. Like Mitch had said, we are a leader in green things, and banning smoking on this campus, getting rid of cigarette butts, actually having an impact, that's important to students.
Probably a good source of conflict on our campus is, am I right in understanding that this is a self-enforced thing? This is if you see someone smoking a cigarette, that's probably going to make a lot of people unhappy. Seriously, like, I don't smoke, but I can imagine if I was a smoker and someone came up to me and was looking right in the eye and said, hey, put that out, I'd be a little peeved. So I think either a new form of enforcement or something that's going to minimize that kind of direct approach and conflict among students is definitely important. And then just more concrete rules for it. Like
we want to give students a place to have their voice heard, but also a place where they can come to school and not feel the burden of a lot of student fees or the burden of very high tuition. That being said, I also want to just highlight that we've given concrete plans, we've given concrete examples. We have 3 examples here, which are just few of the many of what we really want to do if we are elected into office.
Just like Ellie said, we named our ticket Unite because we held open primaries. We came together as a community, we outreached to as many people as possible and said, let's get together, let's choose our candidates, and let's see what the community thinks needs to happen in student government. And so although the rhetoric keeps coming back and forth about being the representative ticket and representing all communities, we just want you to know that we're coming together to unite all communities on campus.
The independents that are running, you really need to consider the fact that they run for what they believe in, and they run for hopefully what the students believe in. There's no ticket behind them. There's no ideological background to it. It's just, it's just someone who wants to get involved and is trying to get involved. So keep that in mind.